Hello everyone, welcome. My name is vAaron, and today we are actually going to be going over the best companion bonuses that you should be using in mod 22. I did a video about this prior. It was a mod 21, I think. So with being a new mod, I thought let's do it again because I do change the summon companions. In terms of the actual companion bonuses, I do have some things that I want to say about them, but they're not going to change that much. So we are actually on our AoE build. As you can see, we've got the Path of Blade, Smoke Bomb. So we're on our AoE build, and we are quickly going to open our stats. As you can see, our stats are not that good. Now the reason for this is because we are actually using a fighter companion. So these stats really don't mean anything to me when I've got a fighter companion, because the only time I'm going to be using an augment is in the new trial. I forgot what it was called. It was like Caldegon or something. The Crown of Caldegon. That's when I'm going to use an augment. And that's when I'm not actually scaled. So in terms of my stats being how they are with my fighter companion, it doesn't bother me because we're going to get scaled anyway. So it honestly doesn't matter. And plus, with your companion enhancement, running a fighter companion, you are going to be getting 150% companion damage, which is going to make up for any stats that you are missing, especially being scaled down as well. You're not going to be missing all that much. So companion gear, we've just switched these appropriately. When I take potions, I was in the red on crit strike, so we changed the crit strike for a crit severity. And in terms of combat advantage, we're on 80%, so we have got acute senses just to up that combat advantage a little bit more. Now, AoE companions, we have on Steldorf in our offense slot, which will give us 7.5% combat advantage. Now, we're going to do these two last. We have 7.5% crit chance for the Black Dragon's Iron Sight, or Black Dragon Iron Stone, sorry. And then in the utility, we've got crit chance and combat advantage again, which is the Alchemist Experimenter. Now, the way people are basically hitting their 90% on literally everything, there hasn't been many, but there's been a few. I don't think they are running these damage companions. Now, these outgoing damage companions are going to give you more damage than what a simple 3.8% or a 7% whatever can actually give you. Outgoing damage is always going to be more than a percentage stat. It's always going to give you more DPS. So just because that percentage stat isn't at 90%, like if I was running an augment, I could get everything to 90%. So it's not really that bad. Even I'd be running these companions. So it's not really that hard to reach that 90%. But because we've got a fighter companion, that's why our percentages aren't at 90 and probably won't get to 90. But it doesn't matter. The fighter companion is going to pick up any slack that we're struggling with, basically. So we've got the Minsk, which is damage versus strong enemies. It's still outgoing damage, and you know, it's against stronger enemies. As you can see, under the enemy's health bar, you've got certain tiers of enemies, and that will be based on how much DPS the Minsk is going to give you. So if you're in a boss battle, it's going to give you the full amount. It's going to give you 8.6. So the next one is Neverwinter Knight's Discipline. I see a lot of people not running this, and I'm not sure why. It's literally straight up 7.5% outgoing damage. It's one of the best DPS companions there is on the game, in my opinion. But for an AoE loadout, this is pretty solid. You saw me in Tiamat. I was using this exact build. I was using this fighter companion, and in terms of AoE, we were decimating everything, and the Wayward Wizard was helping with that. So if we switch to our single target now, and we got the Sodu Dragon. Did I say that right? The pseudo dragon. Okay, so we got the pseudo dragon, and there is something that we've actually changed on this build, and a lot of you might be thinking, but why would you take that off? Again, we're using a fighter companion. It's going to make up for any DPS that we are struggling with. Our stats, again, are not there. I mean, the power, that we're going to get 5k power from the gloves alone, so I'm not too worried about the power. Our crit severity is a tad on the low side, but if we really wanted to, we can get it up with buffs. If we have a look here, so there you go. With the rib cage, it basically goes up to about 85%. It's not that bad considering we're running a fighter companion, you know. And the power will go up. I mean, we've got to pop a few things here. As you can see, the power will go up. We're still missing 3k, but again, we've got the Lion Guard gloves. It's not a big deal. The stats really aren't a big deal. And our crit strike is low. Again, not a big deal. I'm going to show you why. That crit strike is low. So we've got the same companion gear, we've got the same enhancement, and we've got the same 150% damage. Okay, so we got the Staldorf, again, that's the same. Minsk, that's the same. Neverwinter Night, that's the same. And the Alchemist Experimenter, that is the same. The only difference is we've taken off the Black Dragon's Ironstone. That did give us 7.5% crit strike, which is why you see the crit strike so low. How Batiri, this is a single target build, remember guys, but the Batiri will demolish that Black Dragon's Ironstone in any DPS that it will give you. It's 11% damage versus bosses. With this being single target, you're only going to be using it against bosses. There is nothing that beats the Batiri. If anything, if you're worried about your stats, you shouldn't be using fighter companions anyway. You should be using augments if you're that worried about stats. But again, in Tiamat, you saw that I went down, I had a sickness, death sickness, and I was still able to come out on top with this build, and we were against two people with the Band of Air. Now I understand that if this was Voss and the scaling wasn't so bad, then they would decimate me. I fully agree with that, but it's still satisfying to be able to keep up with people who've got the Band of Air, even though we haven't got it. But this is essentially my companion bonuses for mod 22. As I said, I'm going to be running fighter companions for the other content, but only for the trial, the Caldegon trial. I will be running an augment because the fighter companions just keep dying and they pretty much become useless, so they cannot make up that extra DPS that we are missing from the lower stats. So I will run the Owlbear Cub or the Festive Tiger. I haven't ranked it up yet, and that is what I will be running in Caldegon, just so we're not missing any stats and we can put out as much as we possibly can. But yeah guys, that's basically all the companion bonuses that I recommend using. You can switch the Alchemist Discipline with a Golden Cat if you really want to, and then I would change Acute Senses for the one that gives you crit chance for precision there, and then you'll get more combat advantage and more crit strike if you do it that way. But I don't want to pay for the Golden Cat, so that's just my opinion on that. It's fully up to you what you guys do. If this video helps you out, be sure to leave a like. It helps the channel out a lot. Subscribe if you are new to the channel and you want to see more Neverwinter content. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.